People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com.
Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy. But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Rudy Luther Toyota has a great way for you to purchase your next vehicle. It's the Toyota Smart Path. You can shop at the dealership or on your couch. Shop smarter by saving time, and remember, they'll have the best prices and no surprises. You can browse the available vehicles, use the Smart Path payment estimator to customize your own payments, apply for financing, and then finalize your purchase. Smart Path is the smartest path to your new vehicle. Check it out online at rudyluthertoyota.com or stop by Rudy Luther Toyota, 5 miles west of Minneapolis on 394.
What does it mean to begin? Creation Story explores Native origin stories through powerful contemporary art, connecting past and present with every brushstroke in sculpture. Explore how identity, culture, and resilience are shaped through art. Creation Story, now at All My Relations Arts through July 26th. This exhibition invites you to the heart of the Ochate storytelling, where spiritual relatives guide the way. Open to all. Learn more at allmyrelationsarts.org. Experience the beginning. Experience Creation Story at All My Relations Arts in Minneapolis.
Your heart beats for generations. Take care of it.
There's a lot that we can do to take care of ourselves. And so I think it's important to take the smaller steps and break it down into more manageable pieces, because the little steps leads to big changes.
Every beat of your heart tells a story of love, resilience, and hope. For Indigenous women, taking care of your heart means creating more moments with the ones you cherish. Let's protect that story. Learn more at hennepin.us/heart-beats.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Overnight tonight, clearing skies with a low of 53. Then Thursday, sunshine with a high of 75. One of comedy's most dynamic performers is coming to the Twin Cities. Jessica Kirson takes the stage at the Uptown Theater in Minneapolis on Sunday, November 23rd at 8 p.m. It's a show you don't want to miss. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be Indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut, hitting cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, Native news and events, and as you know, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues. Hey, I have our friend Arvina Martin on today, as it seems to be every Wednesday, which is awesome. We love to get a input from Arvina and what's happening in Wisconsin and nationally, politically. So it's really great to have you. Thank you so much, Arvina, for coming on. And I'm going to unmute you right there. And hey,
hey, it's wonderful to be here. I love joining you on Wednesdays.
Perfect. And I'm glad you can make it. It's, every day we could talk about a million things, but I also love talking about Emerge Wisconsin and the great work that you do. And I also like to bring up every once in a while your background, and maybe you can tell some of our newer listeners or remind some of our listeners out there who you are.
Well, my name is Arvina Martin. Ho-chunk Rajra, Ho-humpty Kerewinga Hingaire. My Ho-chunk name is Ho-humpty Kere. Ho-humpty Kerewinga, actually. And I live in Madison, Wisconsin, and member of the Ho-chunk Nation. And I was the first Native person elected to Madison, Wisconsin City Council.
I always like using that button, especially when appropriate. Well, a lot going on, and I don't know where we want to jump in. Education's on the forefront of my mind and what's happening there. There's just things that this orange person is just saying, but also there's a little things going on there with the list, and I don't know if you've been keeping up on that. It's with these 24-hour news cycles, but it's just very interesting on what he's run on and what he's done and what he hasn't done. And I don't know, Arvina, help me out.
I mean, the whole list situation is a total flip-flop. I mean, he had his attorney general Pam Bondi talking about, I've got the list right here. It's on my desk. And Kash Patel talking about, the details about it. And then what was it this week or like before last week where who can tell with time these days? But
Right.
they both announced, there's no list. Don't look here.
Yeah.
And he's really hanging those two out to dry,
Mhm.
And I mean, this is stuff that he's talked about so much about, you'll never believe who's on the list, kind of,
Mhm.
with his speech patterns and making everything hyperbole. And now he just wants to wave his hand and make it go away when he's been, one of the biggest people who talking about this list. And it's not going well for him. There are lots of folks in the MAGA base that are really upset by this and want to see it. And maybe this is going to be something that cracks that MAGA base foundation. I mean, they tend to fall in line pretty easily, and there's certainly folks that have fallen in line, after talking about this list for ages and wanting to see it, and now because Trump said, there's no list, they're both like, yep, there's no list.
Look, don't look behind the curtain.
No, absolutely. And people talking about this takes away from the real harm that that this administration is doing, all the effects of the big bogus bill, that are going to be taking place and taking place in the future after the midterm elections, because they didn't, they had the effects of the bill, all the cuts, they're held back to not go into effect until 2027. So after they think the Democrats will take over the House or the Senate, and then they can blame it on Democrats.
Well, they like blaming everything on Biden, and it came to that too with the list that he could have brought it out. Well, believe you me, if he could have, he would have, because Trump's right in that list. He's Epstein's favorite person. It's interesting too with our short attention span and the way national news and corporate news is. They go on to other things like him attacking Rosie O'Donnell, which I just thought was a joke. But that some of his followers follow along, go, yes, you can do that. Get rid of her. We don't want her as a citizen anymore.
Yeah, and the funny thing is too is that she's living in Ireland now. I think she saw the writing on the wall and was like, I need to go someplace else. And in a normal United States, I mean, this would be absolutely ludicrous. But who knows what the court will say. They've had some pretty bonkers decisions lately, with their conservative majority, and you never know what they're going to say. Unfortunately, one would hope that they if something like this came before their like on their docket, that they would look at it and actually use the Constitution instead of trying to figure out a loophole and trying to figure out a way to make what Trump wants to happen.
Yeah, and speaking of loophole, there's a loophole to try and get a hold of the head of the reserve. I mean, how he can't do that, the Federal Reserve, but he's looking for loopholes, and just because things aren't going his way, it's amazing. I want to switch gears just a real quick thing. We only got a couple minutes left in the segment, and I've brought this up a couple times with our other Native guests this week, and I just get like sick of hearing people getting upset about Alcatraz, alligator Alcatraz, and we'll talk about that next segment a little bit, about the tribes that are surrounding that and what they're trying to do. But this Alcatraz, or not Alcatraz, but this what the Germans did. They got that from the United States with these reservations, and nobody brings that up, Arvina.
It's coming full circle, and it is known that Hitler took inspiration from the United States treatment of Native peoples, and attempts to eliminate us. Those attempts were ultimately not successful because we're still here talking right now. But he took it to a different level with folks who are different in Germany and German occupied areas, particularly obviously with Jewish folks. And hundreds of thousands of people were killed. And it's definitely strange that it is coming back to the United States and back on Native land again.
Yeah, definitely. And I just want to let our allies know, because histories get so watered down, especially these days, is that, hey, this started here, and the treatment of Native Americans. And we are I want to say, the experts on resistance. We've been resisting over 500 years. And like you said, we're still here. And but I just want to bring that out, because we're all over, civic media, the Twin Cities, Iowa, Michigan, and just remind our allies out there that listen to this show that, that is the truth, Arvina.
Absolutely.
Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we're with Arvina Martin, Executive Director of Emerge Wisconsin, and we'll be right back after this short break.
Your heart beats for generations.
Your heart is so many things. It beats all the time, and it works very hard to keep you moving through your day, keeping your thoughts clear. It's the most important organ in your body.
Every beat of your heart tells a story of love, resilience, and hope. Taking care of your heart means creating more moments with the ones you cherish. Learn more at hennepin.us/heart-beats. That's hennepin.us/heart-beats.
Minnesotans age 65 plus might qualify for Health Partners Minnesota Senior Health Options. The easy all-in-one plan includes personal support, coverage for medical, prescription drugs, and dental, plus many extra benefits. Eligibility information is available at healthpartners.com/oneplan. Health Partners is a health plan that contracts with both Medicare and the Minnesota Medical Assistance Medicaid program to provide benefits of both programs to enrollees. Enrollment in Health Partners depends on contract renewal.
Four Sisters Farmers Market is more than a place to shop for delicious organic food. It's a celebration of Indigenous culture, food sovereignty, and community. Now in its 11th season, the market offers healthy, affordable, culturally appropriate local foods every Thursday from 11 to 3. Located on the American Indian Cultural Corridor off Franklin Avenue, Four Sisters Farmers Market is a project of NAGD. Every Thursday now through October, discover more about Four Sisters Farmers Market by visiting nagd.org.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. We are here with our friend Arvina Martin, CEO of Emerge Wisconsin, and we're just having our our little Chapotake kind of talk here.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to throw that word out there for our listeners of the word of the day, Chapotake.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah. And that means?
That is like the lodge, like a dwelling.
Yep, definitely. So I took care of our word of the day now, and we're back with Arvina Martin. So much to talk about. I want to, we're going to have you on a couple more segments here, and we have Angie Vig coming on with Vig Guitars, which is the only Native American guitar store here in Minnesota. And she comes on every once in a while. But what's fun is that they won another award as the best guitar place to go. So I have to have her on and congratulate her on later in the show. But Arvina, we can switch it up a little bit right now and talk locally about what's happening in Wisconsin and any updates, what you see is happening. I know all these federal cuts are just devastating to us here in Minnesota, and now this education bill and things like that. It's just, we have to resist and move on and really get ready for the next election.
Yeah, I mean, in Wisconsin, we are facing a lot of those same cuts. Excuse me, and like a lot of other states and a lot of other people, the ones that caused it are trying to put the blame on our Democratic governor, Tony Evers, 3rd Congressional District Congressman. Derek Van Orden sent a letter to the governor talking about how, he needs to save put more money towards Medicaid when he was the one devoted to take money away. And to then try to put that at the governor's feet is absolutely wild. And just seems to be part of a pattern, Senator Lisa Murkowski saying, voting for the bill, but then telling other people not to vote for it. Senator Josh Hawley is doing a lot of the same, where he's trying to kind of change some of the history and make it seem like the cuts that are going to be happening are not ones that he voted for. We're going to see this all over the place. And remember this when you go to fill out your ballots next fall. That these are folks that are not voting in our best interests, and the cuts with Medicaid are going to do horrible things to rural hospitals and medical centers that treat people that don't live in cities. It's going to affect our tribal health. I imagine indirectly as well, not only from direct cuts, but indirectly from taking on more people that the tribal clinics don't normally serve because they've previously had other options. And that is going to put, a huge strain on any kind of tribal clinics, tribal or IHS hospitals. And we're going to see probably some really terrible results. We're going to see people dying, unfortunately. Yep. And we see a lot of these Republican lawmakers supporting it and being very capricious about their votes, but then trying to throw the blame elsewhere or try to get other people to mitigate what they themselves have done.
Well, Arvina, it seems like, and I think you alluded to this in the first segment, that they create a problem and then they blame somebody else and try and fix it. And that's from top down. And you were kind of mentioning that, but that's the same thing. We have people up here in northern Minnesota that voted against certain things, and next thing you know, they're celebrating these bills that did get passed, even though the Republicans voted against it, and they act like they voted for it. They're showing
Yeah.
up at the ribbon cutting ceremonies.
Yeah, I mean, and it reminds me of an old episode of The Simpsons where Bart becomes famous because he like knocked something over on Krusty's show and said, "I didn't do it," and it becomes this catchphrase where everybody will go, "I didn't do it," and that's kind of, I feel like, where we are with a lot of these Republican lawmakers that support it, and then are like, "Oh, it wasn't me, just kidding."
Right. Right. Well, and we have to keep talking on our station and reminding our followers and people and on our show here that this is the deal and that we have to remember because I remember his first time around Trump that he did over 45,000, I think it was close to 55,000 lies. And I mean, documented lies, but people forget that, or they say both sides do it, and believe you me, both sides don't do it, or we would have had an expanded Supreme Court, and we would have had a lot more people in jail, and they would have went after the president, which I still don't know, the former president. I still don't know why they didn't go after him for January 6th.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's maddening, and they are counting on all of us, we being the voters, forgetting all of this, and they think so little of American voters and of their base that they will forget that they are voting against their interests. They are voting to make themselves sicker, and they are voting to have less resources to treat those illnesses that they ultimately get. And
Right.
it's cuts to Medicaid. It's everything happening under RFK Jr. Taking away or kicking off actual scientists after on the committees that discuss vaccines, and replacing them with folks whose credentials are, iffy at best, but ultimately support what RFK Jr. wants to do, and it's what Trump wants to do as well, and we're all going to be worse off for it.
One of the things that it's so easy to tear this down. I'm wondering how quickly we can rebuild this because of a lot of our experts and people that have been in the CDC and all these other organizations that are being cut uh, aren't going to come back. So we're going to have to start from scratch again. And like you said earlier too, there's going to be a lot of deaths and a lot of things happening. I mean, we saw that Texas now it's leaked coming out that they didn't want Biden money for these sirens for this flood, and you can't deny that it was Biden money. We don't want it, and it's just ridiculous.
I mean, it is. It's 100% ridiculous, and we've seen the loss of life in Texas due to the floods, and I believe there's still even 100 people that are missing, over 100 people that have not been found yet. So that death toll is likely to get so much higher, and again, it's cutting your nose off to spite your face. You don't want to give the other guy a win, so you don't take the money that's going to help you and help your emergency preparedness, help you alert folks when there are unsafe, dangerous conditions, and it's going to be people in that community who are ultimately going to be paying the price, and we're seeing that now, unfortunately.
Well, we only got a couple minutes left in the segment, and then I'd like to talk a little bit about Emerge in the next segment. I just want to bring this up too. It's been underreported, but our friends in Florida, the Muskogee tribe of Indians of Florida, are seeking to join a federal lawsuit aimed at halting the construction and operation of the new immigration detention facility in the Everglades, which tribal members consider their sacred ancestral homelands. Here we go again and again and again and again.
And again, the complete disregard for tribal sovereignty and the fact that the government is required to consult with tribes, and in this case, is it Muskogee? I'm pronouncing it wrong. I apologize.
I said now I can't say Minnasuka.
Miccosukee?
Yeah.
I apologize to all of everybody from that nation. I sorry. But they have rights to protect, and they have an interest in protecting not just the sacredness and some of them or they had ancestors that fled to hide and hid there during the Seminole Wars. And so it's a historic place. It is a sacred place, and it also has a lot of they're absolutely looking for environmental impact studies because they're pouring a lot of asphalt that is displacing these wetlands. I saw that they are using a lot of sprays. Miccosukee.
Thank you so much, Lori.
Lori, thank you so much.
Yes. I can't even. I have trouble sometimes pronouncing Wendy, my wife's name, but I appreciate that so much, Lori.
Yes,
hey,
thank you.
Let's take a quick break and we can finish up a little bit on this, but also talk about Emerge Wisconsin and what's really at stake coming up. We're here with Arvina Martin, Emerge Wisconsin CEO, and our friend and our Ho-Chunk relative. We'll be right back. This is Native Roots Radio.
Hey, it's Patrick for Zero Res. The month of July is National Carpet Cleaning Month, and because of that, Zero Res is offering a purchase of 3 rooms of carpet cleaned, get 1 room free, plus $50 off an air duct cleaning. Maybe you're having a barbecue for the 4th of July. We'll also have Aquatennial coming up in Minneapolis later this month. You want to make sure your home is fresh and clean for your friends and family coming over to celebrate. If your carpet's looking more like a snowbank in late March, muddy, crunchy, and kind of mysterious, it's time to call Zero Res, don't you know? These folks come in with their fancy schmancy ZR water. It's like regular water, but with a master's degree in cleanliness. Zero Res can handle it all. Carpets, tiles, rugs, upholstery, air ducts, basically every surface in your home can be Zero Resified. So it's time to call the cleaning pros at Zero Res today. Schedule your appointment at ZeroResMinnesota.com or call 952-ZERO-RES and ask for the AM 950 special. Backward or forward spells the same. Zero Res.
July is the annual store-wide sale at Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces. Come see our diverse selection of wood, gas, or electric fireplace products for indoor and outdoor living. And right now, Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces can assure you the best price of the season on every product in the store. Let Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces help you choose and experience the joy of sitting by a fire.
Summer is a great time to install your fireplace. You can find your perfect fireplace and have it installed and ready before the cold weather hits again. If you already have a wood fireplace, consider a fireplace insert. Come and see the entire selection at Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces on East Franklin and Riverside in Minneapolis. They will create a fireplace that works for you. Efficient, clean burning, and environmentally smart.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, since 1977, out of the ordinary products and services to make fire work for you.
Summer is going fast, but Next Chapter Booksellers has everything you need to keep up with your summer reading. From the hottest new titles to timeless classics, Next Chapter Booksellers has something for any taste. Their friendly staff are great at making recommendations for the perfect summer read for you or your loved ones. Plus, Next Chapter Booksellers has a wide variety of puzzles and games for those rainy days. So keep up with your summer reading at Next Chapter Booksellers off Snelling and Grand in St. Paul. More at nextchapterbooksellers.com.
Your heart beats for generations. Take care of it.
There's a lot that we can do to take care of ourselves. And so I think it's important to take the smaller steps and break it down into more manageable pieces because the little steps leads to big changes.
Every beat of your heart tells a story of love, resilience, and hope. For Indigenous women, taking care of your heart means creating more moments with the ones you cherish. Let's protect that story. Learn more at hennepin.us/heart-beats.
Turn to Auto Technical with your vehicle donation. We have families waiting for a car. You know, over 85% of unemployed are successful in finding and keeping a job if they have dependable transportation. A car plus a job equals a life changed. 612-919-5526. We have families waiting for a car. 919-5526 or autotech.org.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Alilia. Overnight tonight, clearing skies with a low of 53. Then Thursday, sunshine with a high of 75. Spend your summer with some of the hottest musical acts around at Crooner's Supper Club in Fridley. Crooner's is located just north of I-694 off Highway 65 and Moore Lake Drive. Visit croonersmn.com to view their schedules and food menus. ATNF AM 950, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Oh, this is Dallas Goldtooth, and you're listening to the Native Roots Radio. Hoka, hicha, wecha.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. Here we're with Arvina Martin, CEO of Emerge Wisconsin, and our friend and our Ho-Chunk relative here from Wisconsin, talking to us and trying to make sense out of things that are unsensible. Is that a word?
Oh Lord, it's certainly a chore sometimes, whether it's a word or not. Not the explaining part, the fact that we have to, that there's so much that's happening. I'm happy to be on and talk about it though.
Yeah. Well, hey, I just want to put up what our friend Lori said again, too, with helping. She said, I love you guys. When I worked out in Seminole country, most traditional res, and I think you could probably get someone to speak with you, and she's going to PM us, and that would be awesome. And the pronunciation, too, again, Mika Suki, I really appreciate that, Lori, and we appreciate all our listeners and viewers.
Absolutely. I'm grateful for that pronunciation key. It helps a lot.
Yeah, definitely. So we got a little time here, and I'd really love to talk about Emerge Wisconsin, and especially what's going to be happening here very soon with the midterms. And there's no such thing as a small election now, or one that we shouldn't be paying attention to. And we see that all the time. So Arvina, let's talk about Emerge and a little history and how people can get involved.
Yeah, so Emerge Wisconsin is an organization that identifies and trains and recruits potential women and non-binary folks to run for, or Democratic folks too, to run for office. And, you know, we are helping to build the bench with amazing people at the local, county, and state level so they can, you know, put in the work and help protect their communities against all of these, you know, drastic cuts that are going to be affecting all of our communities. And then they eventually will run for higher office, or many of them will. And, you know, between spring 2024 and spring 2025, we had our alums won their races at a rate of 91%, which is amazing. And I'm so proud of the people that have put their names out and gone out and done the work. Being a candidate is hard work, but it is really rewarding work. And, you know, you get to know your community so much better. And if your goal is to help your community, this is a really great way to do that. We are going to be starting our recruiting in the next couple of months here, recruiting for our class of 2026. You can can find us on Facebook and Instagram. You can go to our website, wi.emergeamerica.org, or you can email me at Arvina, ARVINA, at emergewi.org. And I'm really excited. Next weekend, we're going to have our last training weekend for the class of 2025, and they will be having their graduation ceremony next month. So we have a group of women who have put in the work, have come in with thoughtful questions, have learned the process, and now have all of these tools in their toolkit that they can use when they decide to run for office. It's also a lot of exposure to amazing leaders, and some of them are also Emerge alums. It's like Deb Holland is an Emerge New Mexico alum, and we are proud to count her as part of the Emerge family. And we are looking forward to putting more firsts up on, up in Wisconsin. We haven't had a Native person elected to our state legislature. We've not sent a Native person to to be part of our congressional delegation. We have never had a Native governor. And there are a lot of these firsts that could ultimately be filled by Emerge alumna. And I am always so I'm so happy to work with these cohorts. They are folks that are determined and who have come through challenges of their own and have done remarkable things. And in this time where we have so much strife and so many things that we've counted on, things that we've viewed as institutions and thought were inviolable, and now they're getting cut or they're being eliminated, and it's really heartening to see the work that members of the Emerge family have done before they've even come to Emerge to make their communities a better place. And those are the kind of people that you want running for office, because they care a great deal and want to do things the right way.
Yeah, absolutely. And just totally support that. And especially with what's happening now, I believe people are wanting to do stuff, do things, and running for office. We talk about that at the end of the show every day or almost every day. We need to resist, divest, join a group, and run for office. And so and vote. We threw that one on there too, because with what's happening now, what was it, 30% of the people, or is it even higher, 35% of the people did not vote this last election?
I mean, that happens. I mean, coming from a presidential election where turnouts tend to be higher, and then going into a spring election where there are not the huge names on the ballot that you just saw. They tend to be, at least in Wisconsin, our spring elections tend to be, local races. The biggest race this year for us was pretty big, with Susan Crawford winning a state of Wisconsin Supreme Court seat, beating Elon Musk and his money. But it's easier to forget, and we have to not forget the small elections, because those ones, your vote has so much more of an impact because there are fewer people that are turning out. And those are the races that really affect your everyday life. Things like the condition of your streets, the condition of your public schools, public health. It touches on every part of everyone's lives. And you should have a say in it, and who's representing you and who's working for you, as opposed to people that are working without your best interest at heart.
Do you feel that people are paying more attention now, especially maybe these last 10 years, or is it that I'm just paying more attention because I'm getting older and I have a radio show? Oh,
I think with the advent of this Trump era, that people are paying attention more. I think part of it is it's hard to ignore. He's on TV every day yelling about something, and it's hard to escape. And so I do believe that there has been more participation. Whether that's going to be a permanent change, I guess, is something that we'll have to see. But I know that we keep setting records in Wisconsin for our spring election turnout, which is, that's a great record to beat, is record participation. Because I mean, that's how we get the people that we need in office, is by people voting for their best interests of themselves and their community at large.
Yeah, the days of my vote doesn't count. We see how states, especially in the presidential election, but if we get in Minnesota, if we picked up 10 votes here and there, we would have had a different outcome with our legislators who are on the outstate, and they seem to be very bright red and vote against their own interests, only to be part of the mega cult. And so that's very disappointing too. And those are the same people, like I was saying earlier, that go to the ribbon cutting ceremonies and things that they voted against.
Yeah. Well, it also highlights the need for fair maps, and fair legislative districts. Wisconsin previously having the most gerrymandered state legislative map in the country, and would show that if you looked on pure numbers, that Democratic candidates statewide would get more than 50% of the vote, yet Wisconsinites were represented by almost 2/3, I believe, of Republicans. And that kind of, vote packing and gerrymandering is, antithetical to democracy. And, in order for our votes to count, we have to be divided fairly into the districts so that it does matter.
Yeah, I saw that he wanted to do the same thing, meaning Trump in Texas, because the African Americans are getting more more people down there to vote, and so that's something we have to keep an eye on, and like everything.
Absolutely. And also, it is unheard of to redistrict in the middle of a decade. That
Right.
is supposed to happen after the census count, and then things need to be reapportioned. And it doesn't happen in the middle of a decade. And it's gross.
Right. It's totally gross. Arvina, we got a couple minutes here and I want to get Angie big on, but so I want to get the website out there again for people that are listening to us, how they can support and how they can run if they're in Wisconsin, and get support from you if they are women running for office. So please give one more boost to that.
Absolutely. wi.emergeamerica.org. You can find our information about participating in our program, and also feel free to donate to us to support the work that we do.
Absolutely. Arvina, always a great time talking to you, and we'll talk to you next week. And thank you so much for everything you do.
Sounds great. We'll see you next week.
Sounds good. Hey, we are here now with Angie Big, and I can't wait, Angie. We're going to take a break here in a minute, but I can't wait to talk to people about the award you got and what's happening at Big Guitars, and I know with your art. So I always appreciate you coming on the show, and we're going to take a quick break and say hi to everyone, Angie. Hoa. Here, I'll go ahead and unmute yourself.
Bonjour, I'm really excited to talk about it.
Right on. We are too. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we're going to take a quick break and talk to Angie Big of Big Guitar Shop. Oh,
I'll never forget. I was driving my Sienna from Rudy Luther Toyota, and I was hit at 35 miles an hour, rear-ended square flush. If not for the structural integrity of my Sienna, I wouldn't be here right now. There's a lot I can say about Rudy Luther Toyota, about their fantastic service department and their great selection, but being able to say your car saved my life is the best endorsement I can make. Toyotas from Rudy Luther Toyota are my highest recommendation. Get one today and tell them me, Matt McNeil, told you to stop on in. Rudy Luther Toyota, 394 and 169 in Golden Valley.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native community. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Your heart beats for generations.
Your heart is so many things. It beats all the time, and it works very hard to keep you moving through your day, keeping your thoughts clear. It's the most important organ in your body.
Every beat of your heart tells a story of love, resilience, and hope. Taking care of your heart means creating more moments with the ones you cherish. Learn more at hennepin.us/heart-beats. That's hennepin.us/heart-beats.
Oh my God, I didn't even see this page.
Four Sisters Farmers Market is more than a place to shop for delicious organic food. It's a celebration of Indigenous culture, food sovereignty, and community. Now in its 11th season, the market offers healthy, affordable, culturally appropriate local foods every Thursday from 11 to 3. Located on the American Indian Cultural Corridor off Franklin Avenue, Four Sisters Farmers Market is a project of NAGD. Every Thursday now through October, discover more about Four Sisters Farmers Market by visiting nagd.org.
Annie, and I'm Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, and you are listening to Native Roots Radio.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, I just want to give a big howl to our relatives, the wolves, all over Turtle Island, and howl for their protection. Join with me, Angie. Howl! All right. Hey, Angie, I see you around doing the market, and it's great to see you. I always appreciative of how you kind of come on last minute. So we really appreciate you coming on. Even more the last minute. Let's talk about this big award that you guys had, and let's get into where people can find you in Minnesota and online.
Sure. Thank you, Migutch. Pinigigi.
Oh,
I
wow.
can't even say it right. Thank you for having me. We are located in the Midway area of St. Paul. We are at 595 Snelling Avenue North. We're at the cross street of Thomas Avenue and Snelling Avenue. And we're right next to a tattoo shop. So you can get a guitar, and you can get a tattoo. Oh, and a barbershop in the next door. So you can get your hair cut too.
Yeah, one-stop shop. Hit parking in the back. Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So again, congratulations. I can you talk about this? I know you're humble, but I want you to come on and talk about Minnesota's best, and you guys are right up there. Let's talk about that.
Oh my gosh. So the city pages used to put this on, and they never would include music stores. And there's so many music stores. Well, Star Tribune bought them, and then now it's just Star Tribune. And they have been putting on this contest for the past 5 years, I think. And it's for Minnesota's best. And so they run it like, February, March. I can't remember when the contest was. And there's all sorts of categories. And we're in the music instrument store category and under the shopping section. And we won gold again. Oh my gosh. We're so thrilled. And we were surprised. I mean, there's a lot of shops in town, and they're all fantastic. So it's just an honor to be voted gold again. So to date, we've had 3 golds now and 2 silvers.
Wow, that's awesome. And again, congratulations to you and your husband. I know you guys are musicians, and it's great to support musicians and have a great shop like this in the Midway area. And you get people from all over the state. And we're all over the country here on the radio. So whenever you're in St. Paul or in the Twin Cities, get off 94 and shoot north up to Big Guitar Shop.
Absolutely. We always have coffee, and we like to chit chat, and don't be shy here. We want to hear you play, and we want you to pick up guitars and play. And we always tell people, don't be worried. That's why we're here. It's why we have a physical shop, so you can come and play play some music and find something.
Oh, yeah. Well, so one of the things the last couple of years you've done too, and I've seen you around about town too, and I saw you and your husband at that great native food truck extravaganza that was just awesome. And you sell jewelry too
Yeah.
at the store. And talk a little bit about that and how that came about.
So I used to bead just a little bit when I was young, and then I enjoy buying our awesome local artist artwork. But I started beading about a year ago because it's the only thing that would shut my brain off. And so it's so relaxing, and it's just such good medicine for me and for a lot of people. And it's nice to create. So it really helps that I have a store here, because I also have my huge counter full of all of my jewelry. So I'm able to also sell my jewelry here. And that festival was massive for everybody. I mean, could you believe people waited 2.5 hours for a fried bread taco?
Yeah.
Because we just know how to make them, but that's great for them. But all the other trucks were great. Everybody had great sales. It was so unexpected because they thought it was going to storm all day.
Right.
They said, and then it was the first one, so we didn't know. And then the Taste of Minnesota was going on too, and people were out of town because of the holiday. That was so massive. Thousands of people were there. It was just, Ted and I tried to dehydrate ourselves so we didn't have to go to the bathroom because it was so that busy. Oh, I should have just put you behind the counter so I could go to the bathroom.
There you go. There you go. I should have came early. But there was also a lot of musicians out there, Angie. That was amazing.
Isn't that great? Yeah, Blue Dog, Pretendians, and I can't remember who the others were, but it was so nice just to have that. And it was cool out until 3:30. It got hot, but it wasn't, it stormed just for a little bit, but not bad. And how wonderful was it to hear all the music and just see everybody, and natives, non-natives, and people were, just really supporting it. It was incredible. I wanted to show you this because these are a big hit. I've been getting some nameplates personally made, and then I've been beating them up. So I got this keychain.
Oh, wow.
All over it. Oh, what?
That's awesome.
Yes, I've been selling a lot of that.
Hey, I got a quick question. So again, we're talking about, it's been unreasonably hot early with the humidity. And we talk a little bit about this when we talk about big guitars, is that we sometimes need a tune-up because these are living things, these wooden guitars. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So we're first and foremost a repair shop. We're the biggest repair shop in Minnesota, I think even the Midwest. And in Minnesota, in our climate, you have to take care of your guitars. And in the winter, when you turn on your furnace, then you got to start humidifying your guitars because they're made out of wood. They're trees. So they're living, and they're just like us. They dry out. And then in the summer, when it starts getting humid, you don't have to humidify your guitars anymore because they're already humidified. You don't want to over humidify them. And so the wood expands when it's summer, and then it shrinks when it's dry, just like us. And you'll notice because the neck will turn one way, and then the next season will turn another way, and then that's when you got to come in and get them all adjusted. And you'll know because it starts hurting your hands when you play. It starts buzzing, but you really feel it besides hearing it. And it's just really good.
So do a lot of people come in that might get a guitar from their as an heirloom and get a tune-up too, because you guys do that too, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah, we're actually fortunately handling 4 estates from these awesome musicians that have passed, and it's but they just have to bring their instruments here because they need to be played. So we take care of them and we sell them for them. And a lot of them have to be worked on before we can put them on the floor, because that's what we do. We would never put any junk on the floor. everything's ready to play and ready to go.
You know, I feel when you talked about that, and then also talked about our wooden guitars, that you know it's part of our way too with Mother Earth and Father Sky. I mean, they're a living thing still.
Absolutely, they're trees. It's when I was little, I used to talk to trees all the time, and now here I am surrounded by trees, and this is my way of life. It's pretty neat. Trees are very
Wow.
powerful.
That is very cool. Hey, give your address one more time and maybe a phone number or something that people can get a hold of you all across Turtle Island here. And I really, really appreciate you always stopping in with the good words and the great work you guys do. And congratulations again.
Oh, geez. Thank you. Our address is 595 Snelling Avenue North. And then our phone number is 651-219-4941, bigguitarshop.com. And then we're on Facebook and Instagram and all the social media platforms. So stop by. It'd be really great to see you. And we've been meeting a lot of native musicians. So let's meet more.
Place to go. Hey, Angie, thank you so much. And again, congratulations. Thank you always for stopping in on the show when we need you. And even when we got you as a guest, I really, really appreciate you and your husband.
Make a wish.
Right on. Hey, if you're listening to the show, you're part of the resistance from Chief Plenty Coops. The ground on which we stand on, it's sacred ground. It's the blood of our ancestors. We need to resist, divest, join a group, run for office. We're still here. We are the seventh generation.
Your heartbeat.